I feel like, when you find a hobby though, that's when you should try to make a business. Like, or chase, because cutting hair wasn't about making the money. It was just something that I told a guy I could do better than, and I started practicing at it because I wanted to learn how to do it, and then I realized I could make money off of it. I haven't made money cutting hair for real until I moved back down to Miami, which was in 2018. I was like 23 at the time. But I've been cutting hair since I was 11 or 12 years old or whatever.
What's happening, Grandeur family? It's your boy Jeff Jackham here. You're now tuned in Grandeur Talks episode 3 with Christian Chongg, serial entrepreneur out of Miami, Florida. Does it all: yacht business, cutting hair. He has Turo rentals. You name it, this man is doing it all. So hey, I hope y'all get a lot of good things out of this. It's a really good video. Make sure y'all visit www.employthemoney.com and get your Employ the Money gear. Hey, enjoy the video. All right, so I'm here with Chris, young entrepreneur out here in Miami doing his thing. I'm going to let him talk about how he employs the money, how he makes his dollar work for him. And honestly, the floor is his. He's going to talk to y'all about his businesses, how he's came about, and what he's doing out here, and, give y'all a little bit of tidbits on, how he came about what he's doing. So, Chris, man, the floor is yours. Let us know, where you're from, how you started off, and just give us the whole bio and a little blueprint.
All right. So, my name's Chris, of course. When I was about 12 years old, I guess that's when I started getting into the business world. Like when I was in middle school, my dad, when you start getting older, because I live with my dad, so he was like, I'm not gonna buy you everything. When I was growing up, it was always, you get a white pair of shoes and a black pair of shoes. You get 5 t-shirts for the week and 5 polos for the week. You don't need nothing more, nothing less. White, black, blue, green, red, one of each. That was it. So it's like, if I always wanted more, I had to go out my way to get it.
Right.
And then it was like everything I wanted, they would always put so much pressure, like just people like, oh, you can't get it, or you're not going to do it, or you're young, or whatever. You don't need that right now. But at the end of the day, people still have desires. Like you gotta still be a dreamer in a sense of, if you see something you want, you just gotta get it. Like you gotta still be able to see it. It's not even about getting it, because eventually you'll get it. Like if you keep moving forward in life, you'll realize if you keep working, you can only grow. Like you just gotta dream. You gotta have a vision. Because if you work with no direction, you're working for someone else. Like
wow.
Like for real. Like so. When I was in middle school, I wanted to get extra stuff or whatever. So my first entrepreneurial background, I would say, was typical down here. We didn't have vending machines at our middle school, so I was selling candy.
Everybody know the candy man.
Candy man. So it was like basically a comparison to a drug dealer. Like you would go buy your supply of candy, you spend the $15 on a 30-piece of candy, and you would go back to school and sell it for $1. Now you made $15. You had to sell 6 boxes to make $95, $85, whatever the math is, whatever. So I would just keep doing that every day. I was bringing home $90, $100. Kid out there being able to buy my own shoes or
right.
Stuff like that. And then it's just like I don't know. I just had this infatuation with money growing up because I just wanted things and it cost.
Yeah.
So then, after the candy, probably like a year later, I segued into cutting hair. So a funny story, I went to the barber shop, and I always cared about my haircut. I'm sure most guys care about their haircut.
Right.
But I was young enough to know what a good and bad haircut was. Like, when you're young, you're just gonna get your haircut. All right, I don't know. I'm going outside with that with my friends. Yeah. When I first got my first fucked up haircut. Excuse my French, but
you good, bro.
I got my first messed up haircut. I had looked at the barber. I said, my hairline's not straight. You need to fix this. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Your dad, he always says to me, I've been cutting your hair. You don't know what you're talking about. Here's 20. Give me my $20 and you go home. Man, next time I had went back to that shop. I told him, I was like, last time I was there, I was like, I could probably cut hair better than you. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You fuck me up. I brought my neighbor with me, and I was like, you know what? I cut his hair. All the other barbers were like, oh yeah, he better than you. Which is sad. First person I ever put clippers on, cause when I'm always a person, or I can always draw or do things with my hands, like crafty stuff. Like if I see it, I can do it. Cutting grass, if they want patterns and their names spelled in the grass, I can go do that. If they want a painting or a drawing, I can do that. You know, if they want to build something with my hands, I can do that. So cutting hair is like one of those things. It's like a tattoo where, you know, it's art, but you can do it if you see it. Like it's a trade, it's a skill. Like if you watch it, you can do it. I feel like anything a man can do with his hands, I should be able to do for the most part. So I started cutting everybody's hair in my neighborhood when I was like 12. Started with them. I wasn't the best barber. I was definitely messing people up. Like I didn't know anything about barbering. I would spray WD-40 on clippers and call it me cleaning them.
Wow.
You know, I'm spraying Febreze on the clippers. You know, it's lubricant though. The clippers were buzzing the right way. It was working. I was using all type of stuff, car oil. I was putting everything on the clippers, cutting people's hair for the longest. I swear to God, in a hot ass garage. So it's like, you know, people were sweating their hair. It wasn't the best haircuts, but it was good enough.
Right.
Fast forward, when I went to college, I was cutting hair out of a dorm. I was charging $5 a haircut just to get people, you know, like. So when you start a business, you got to make sure you have people coming in and out of your door. You got to drive up, you know, your clientele. You got to have people that believe in your product at first, like before you put a value to it. In my opinion, like how can you value something nobody's used yet? Like these businesses will create something and sell it at top dollar for a while, and nobody used it yet, you know. Like, whatever. So to build a repertoire with my friends and clients and stuff like that, I would charge them $5, and you know, the next year I would go up to $10, and after that I just keep moving forward with my prices going up slowly. But you win the trust of the people because those $5 haircuts were legit $5 haircuts. You know, like I was cutting people, slicing them. Even though I could cut hair and knew what I was doing, I wasn't the best barber. So after some time of practice and whatnot, I grew a name in Tallahassee when I was in school. I feel as though when people tell you that like if you're going to college and you're gonna start a business, it shouldn't be, or excuse me, if you're gonna start a business, you don't need to go to college. Or if you're not gonna be a scientist, or if you're gonna be a doctor, or if you're gonna be a lawyer, you don't go to college. I disagree with that because I went to school blindly. My parents told me, son, you got 30 days to get out of our house after you graduate high school if you didn't go to college. So I just like, damn, I don't have no plans. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't have any direction. I applied to like 30 schools and got into almost damn near all of them, except for a few. Got into Purdue, I got into FSU, UF, you know, USF. All the schools I wanted to go to, I got it in. So it was like, okay, I can do that. I got the grades. I'm smart enough to go to school. But when I got into school, you know, I was like, what am I gonna do? I tried to be a doctor, and I was doing good in school for a while, but it wasn't for me. It was stressful. I like hands-on things that stimulate my body. You know what I mean? Like my mind. Like if I'm doing something with cutting hair, it's like an art. I gotta focus. I gotta make sure that it's detailed and this and that. Like you could do that writing on paper, but it's boring.
Right.
It's not hands-on. It's like I gotta keep reading. So.
Here at the Grandeur Society, we pride ourselves on being the new age pioneers of our community. We emphasize giving back to our community, spreading information and knowledge to give value back to our community, and above all else, we have fun doing it all. If this is a lifestyle that you feel fits you, please feel free to visit www.employthemoney.com and follow us at _Grandeur Society.
So, you know, I got to college and I kept changing my major, and I ended up finishing with sociology or whatever, just so I could get it done or whatever. But I would say the best part about it was college taught me how to run a business. Like, instead of like take away school, you get to join orgs, you get to work with people who put you in a position that requires your position. Like I was in this group called Dream. It was an org where we would do community events, but we still have to raise money. I was in the what's it called? The fundraising committee. There was different committees. We had the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, parliamentarian, marketing, fundraising, etc. So that's all part of a business at the end of the day.
Right.
So it's like it teaches you the roles that people will have to play. And so, you know, getting those experiences and meeting people and networking with people who are going to be in places that will probably have them being paid a lot later in life, or probably have them being able to have access to a lot of resources that can help you later. It's good to make those connections at a young age. Like, think about it. The people you're partying with in college are all going to be managers, CEOs,
right,
all that shit later. So it's like, if you have those people that you can call in 3 years, you know, like some friends I got after college, they're calling, oh, Chris, you know, I'm a lawyer, we're about to do this corporate trip, we want to rent yachts from you, you know? So it's just like, you want to keep in touch with people that are going to be progressive in life.
right.
You know, I feel like when it comes, like, one of my biggest failures when it came to anything I was doing, because I also rent yachts out and I rent cars out. I try to put my hands in any little thing that I can do that I feel is lucrative. But one of my biggest failures was time management and money management. You know, like, even though you're making a lot of money, you can figure out it doesn't take a genius to figure out how to make money. All you have to do is just look at what is needed in an area and find out how you're going to supply what that is needed.
Supply and demand is literally it.
So when I came to Miami, I'll start. This is where I would say more business failures came along. Like barbering, I didn't have more so business failures. I just had fork in the roads where I want to make a decision of, do I want to grow? Like with the barbering, I was just switching barbershops or cutting out of this place or blah, 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 you know, trying to create my own space, which I have now, which is like not as challenging in my opinion. What was challenging was more so my yacht business. It's like when you start making a lot of money, you still have to be able to manage it, because that's something you were never doing before.
Right.
So if you've never done something before, you really don't have a lot of experience with it. So when you tap a new level of money or a new level of growth or a new level of income, you got to be prepared for it, and I wasn't prepared. Like, you know what it's like to, in a day, like make $1,000?
No, that's different.
Yeah, like there's some people who, in a day, $50 to them, that's their $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I was 22 years old when I started renting yachts out, and I made my first $1,000. And the first thing I did was go to the casino. Blew my money. And that's how I had a bad casino gambling addiction for almost 2 years. Any little big change I would make outside of barbering, I would go spend in the casino. Like almost all my boat money went to the casino.
Wow.
Like a lot of people don't know that, and I wasted a lot of money. I could have let that money propel my business. I could have got an LLC. I could have buckled down. I could have did this and that and third, what I needed to do. You know.
Yeah.
I just feel like the main things I can tell people is just always do. You know, just do. Like, you know what it's like to plan and never do. Like, you ever have a smoke session and you start talking about all these theories or all this stuff that you're so interested in, and then you're such an expert when you're high, but the next day you never talk about it again.
You never even apply it.
Right, you never apply it. So imagine someone like I have a friend, and they want to start a swimsuit line, you know, like, and I believe that they will. So imagine them keep talking about it, but they just never do it. They never take that one step. They know everything they have to do, but they never just take the step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They watch everybody else walk, but they don't want to walk either.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you're gonna fail, you still have to take a step.
Exactly.
Because I probably failed 1,000 times before I got one thing right, and that one thing pushed me 1,000 steps forward.
Exactly.
The 1,000 failures only made me like a few steps behind, but it's like you're practicing, because if you're failing, that means you're trying. If you're not trying, then you can't fail. And if you can't fail, you can't win. Like, for real.
That's a bar, man.
For real, you can't win if you don't fail. You think Usain Bolt just got on that damn track and burnt everybody?
Nah, yeah, he worked.
He worked for it. I'm sure he sprained an ankle. I'm sure he had a panic attack or, you know, a lung attack or some type of breathing problem or something that hindered him, or some struggle he went through to get there.
Right.
You know, like one of my favorite people I look forward to, you know, it might be corny or whatever, but it's Denzel Washington. You know,
yeah.
He got a powerful speech where he said he failed 1,000 times. You know, The first place he ever went to do a play or to try out was Broadway, and they denied him. He didn't get the role. 20 years later, now all his plays are being put in Broadway.
Right.
You know,
Full
because
circle.
he just kept falling forward.
Exactly.
So, it's not an easy thing to do, and then you can't compare yourself to others. Like when you do anything with business, there's gonna be competition. There's gonna be people who are better than you. There's gonna be people who are worse than you. I feel as though the best advice I can give when you're starting a new business is to not worry about anything anyone else is doing, because yachts have been rented in Miami before I was alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is nothing new. There's people who've been living down here doing this their whole life. They own yachts, and they still can't put out as many yacht rentals as me, which is crazy.
Wow.
Like, quick background story about how I got into the yacht business. When I graduated from college, came down here, I had a corporate job. I was looking for jobs. I didn't know what the plan was from school. The day I graduated college, or walked across the stage, was May 5th, 9 a.m. 2018, whatever. That Monday, I was home in Miami. I was in Tallahassee. I drove 6 hours to go home in Miami. I had no plan, no job, nobody I applied to. I just, I went to school just to do it.
Right.
I got back. I'm over here applying to Cutco Knife Company. I'm about to sell knives. I'm over here applying everywhere, and now it's like my neighbors feel bad. So my neighbor is like one of the directors of Carnival Cruise Line Corporate, and she's like, just apply. I'll put in a word. At least you can start making some money, whatever.
Right.
Man, I didn't last at that job for 3 weeks. I got fired because I was 1 minute late 2 days in a row. I couldn't have nobody tell me, you can't be 1 minute late. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's not that. I don't care what it is. I can't live like that. So whatever. I stopped caring. I just started cutting hair again down here. But so now I needed something else to do because that cutting hair wasn't doing it either. I was a new guy down here. I didn't have an established clientele yet. Whatever. So one of my friends, he owned a yacht at the time, and he brought me and my cousins on there. My cousins always go with him. They knew him before me. And he was like, yo, if y'all want to rent my boat out, you guys can rent it for this price, and then you can put money on top and make money. He was teaching me the game. So I saw, it took me about a year, because I was promoting the boats on my Instagram story, to actually get a client, because, you realize dealing with large transactions, who's going to trust a stranger to just send money to when it's like $3,000, $2,000, or whatever.
Right.
So it took me a year to get my first yacht, and when I finally did it, I was like, what was I doing so wrong, But it's just simple things like, I wasn't posting, I wasn't showing people that I was actually there. Like, when you have a product, you actually have to show that it's real, So that being said, I was just looking at all the other businesses on how they operate. Everybody was posting videos, everybody was doing this, everybody was doing that, and their promotion, their clients were coming just from Instagram. That wasn't enough for me. I started going around offering people a chance to make money, like, hey, you want to help me hustle this together? We can do this, we can do that. And it was working to some degree. People were referring me. Word of mouth was going around quicker. I have a good, network. So it's like I can use my college. That's why you go to college. If you graduate, now you got all these successful people trying to rent yachts. They got the money. That's your pool right there.
Yeah.
You got to create different pools. I'm from Miami, so I can pool the people that's from Miami. I got college. I can pool the people from college. I traveled to California because I was working with BET, so I can pool those clients. Because now, cutting, you can tie in your businesses. I was cutting hair for BET and MTV one summer, and I told them, I rent yachts when I was in California. Oh, you cut hair? You're the yacht man, and you got cars, and you got Airbnbs, blah. You want to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
It was easy for me to just bring those California people back to Miami, whatever. Now they touch down in town. Oh yeah, if you're going to Miami, this is my guy in Miami. From Philly. I got people from Philly, Texas, California, Alabama, Georgia, New York, calling us from everywhere. So, after a while, you can't get greedy either. Like, when you're making money and it's good enough for you, it's going to get to a point where it's going to be too much for you. So it's like, I wanted to be able to move my businesses smoothly, and I had to bring in help. So I brought in like the closest friends that I felt as though were able to put the team together. Yeah, you got to put the team on, man, because that's the problem. That's the problem. Everybody wants to be a boss without putting it into work, and they want all the money for themselves. It's like, you see other people, it's like a lot of monkey see, monkey do right now with the whole entrepreneurship world. Like, it's trendy. Like, I would never trust anybody to invest my money in for Forex or to learn from them if they weren't doing it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, you can't come to me, and that's where I had to understand why it took me a year to put somebody on the boat. The first year I put somebody on the boat, the next year I had 17 people. The year after that, 50 people. This year we don't even know how many people. Yeah. It's crazy, you know? Yeah. And that was only 2 months, because I just brought my business partners in 2 months ago, but they helped me expand my business to a point where I can't even do it. I really can't do it alone. We need help too. Right. So it's like, you can't be greedy. You can't be worried about what other people are doing, but you can't also be, I guess, scared. Because if you go, anything you do, there's gonna be people doing it. So it's like, you just have to figure out how to do it better than everybody else. Right. You know? So I just feel like no matter what, if you're gonna do something, just figure out how to do it the best. Don't just do things that everybody's doing either, because it's making fast money. Like, you see people perpetrate a lot. Like, there's a lot of these investors going around right now. You know, they may have made $1,000 in one day, but is that consistent? Right. Is that right? They may know how to use it, but are they educated in it? Like, you can go play basketball and know the game, but do you know the rules? You know what I mean? Like, do you know what move to do, or, you know, simple stuff like that? So it's like, if you go into real estate, you need to start learning everything about real estate. You know, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Oh, this guy does fucking TikTok videos to rent his houses out. I'm going to do the same thing. No, you need to go learn everything about those houses. You need to be the connoisseur of housing, basically. Yeah. That's what I did with the yachts. I can tell you the difference between a 92-foot Pershing and a 90-foot Sea Ray, but they don't have 90-foot Sea Rays. But I can tell you the difference from a mile away, because we took the time to learn and study everything. Because you got to know your product that you're delivering to people. Wow. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's not a hard thing to do to be in a business. You just have to make sure that's what you want to do.
Exactly, be passionate about it.
Right. Like,
if there's no passion, then
like,
you're not gonna do it.
You ever look at most of the classes you passed in college or high school or middle school? You were interested in those classes.
You're interested in the subject.
Right. Yeah. The classes you barely passed, even though you passed, you know the difference between a C and an A? Even though you passed with a C, you had to put so much effort into something you didn't want to do. And you probably worked so hard and could have worked smarter if you would have just been into it, that you would have got that A. Versus getting that C. Like, there were so many times, I'm not interested in math, but I would study hours into it. But the fact that I wasn't interested in it, I felt like I couldn't grasp the concepts. Right. So I would just do borderline good. But in that motherfucking art class, oh shit. Yeah. Or science, you know, chemistry, oh shit, I'm blowing up shit. Like, oh, so this is what, you know, this is what sulfur and ice, dry ice does or whatever. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, no, that's facts. You just gotta always be interested in the shit that you're doing, and
What's good? You already know who it is. It's your boy Jeff Jackham, and y'all see it, man. I'm on the yacht with my people. Went ahead and booked with Meet Me at the Docks, Miami. Vibes only. Man, my boy Christian Chongg really hooked it up for us. Really had a great time. So look, check it. If you're ever in Miami, Florida, and need a yacht, hit up Meet Me at the Docks, Miami. Again, that's Meet Me at the Docks, Miami, or visit www.meetmeatthedocks.com.
You gotta be able to check yourself a lot too. Like, there was times where I would walk around with my head high thinking I was the man, but really I wasn't. It just really took one person to humble me, or one fuck up to humble me. Like, damn, I'm over here making all this money. Now my client crashed a jet ski on the boat. Oh shit, now I gotta pay out $1,000 to this person. That's L. You just gotta always be prepared for any little mishaps. But like, my main thing is just enjoy what you're doing. Thanks. Like, and don't worry about what you have now. Like, there was times I've been homeless, I've been carless, I've been my bank account negative just so that I could make a bill last. Like, there'll be times where, okay, my car note comes, I'll be like, shit, I got $30 in my account, I gotta pay $500 today. charge that shit to my card, but I'm gonna do the check bank account. It's gonna draft from my account 2 days later, but I gave myself 2 extra motherfucking days.
Right.
Because that motherfucker was due today. I'm gonna figure out how to make this $530. So it's just like, you just gotta be willing to do everything, anything to win. And, which includes failing. Like, you know, people say, oh, I'm gonna do anything it takes to get to the top. But the moment you hear that word, you're gonna fail if you do this, you're not gonna do it.
Right.
So
yeah,
you're not doing anything it takes to get to the top at that point.
That's actually insane that you say that, because it's like somebody will tell you, hey, this is the blueprint. You're gonna struggle, but they'll be like, well, why would I do this if I'm gonna struggle? Nah, like you have to struggle, you have to fail in order to reach that.
And that's applied to everything. Like, it's applied to business, it's applied to friendships, it's applied to relationships, it's applied to regular goals. If you're not willing to do it, it's just not gonna get done.
Exactly.
Like, it's just not gonna get done. Every day I'm frustrated sometimes. I don't want to cut hair all day, but I gotta do it because I want it to be the best part. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fatigued sometimes, or I just don't want to hear from my clients sometimes. It's no offense to them. It's just, you know, I'm a person too. You know, so it's just like you gotta be willing to check up on yourself and make sure that you're mentally there, but you still gotta be willing to sacrifice all that if you want it.
Right.
Happiness, you gotta sacrifice it. Spending time with family, you gotta sacrifice it if you want it.
Right. And if you want to be at the top, then you're gonna have to make those sacrifices. But I think one thing that you really hit on the head is like once you struggle, you got those failures and stuff like that. Those things create a system, right?
Yeah,
so now you get a system.
You have experience.
Now exactly. So once you put those systems in place, boom. Now you're taking that load off. Now you can go get that happiness. You can go spend time with the family because you have your systems in place.
And you know what? Take away the entrepreneurship world. Look at people getting jobs, right? When you apply for a job, there's people who will go to school, and you know this is the only critique I have about school for real. You'll go to school and you'll study, you'll get the degree, but your degree is still worth 5 years of experience to someone else who has no degree. And you know why those businesses look for someone with 5 years of experience versus the person with a degree? It's because when those people with 5 years of experience are put in tough situations, or when time gets hard for the job, when it's busy and decision making needs to be done quickly, they know what to do because they failed before. Right. They didn't make the deadlines. They didn't, you know, deliver the product to its best capability. So those people know where they had to go back and correct things. They know how to solve those problems. Whereas the person who just studied it and never actually had hands-on couldn't do it.
Right.
Like, you got a doctor that had 5 years of military paramedic experience versus the doctor that played with gerbils at school. Who are you gonna go have operate on you? The person who's saving people's lives in instances where there's bullets flying and all types of crazy stuff going on and hostile situations, or the person who's in a comfortable environment that was spoon-fed and barely knows how to do anything without themselves.
Wow. No, yeah, it's facts. No,
Yeah.
that's facts, bro. Like, you gotta put yourself in the situations. Like, you gotta
Put yourself in the shit. You
Yeah.
just gotta burn. Like, my dad always had this thing. He'll be like, son, don't touch that stove. It's gonna burn you. And I look at him, and I still touch that stove. And I'll burn my hand, because you know why? I didn't believe him in the sense of that stove was gonna hurt. But until I touched it myself and I felt that burn, all right, now I know for sure I'm not gonna touch that stove anymore.
Exactly.
I'm gonna touch this stove.
Yeah.
Burn my hand somewhere else until I realize I'm not trying to burn my hand anymore. But you know, you gotta be able to take bumps and blows before you just ride a smooth sail. You know, like they always say, it's calm before the storm.
Facts.
That's the real thing.
Yeah.
It's always calm before the storm. Everything seems gravy until you hit that roadblock, and then what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sink or are you gonna swim? You know.
Oh man.
And swimming is tiring.
Yeah.
You know, it's like and the thing is, if you choose not to do something, you're still gonna suffer. If you do something, you're still gonna suffer. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be tired, but I'm gonna get my goal. If I don't do it, I'm not gonna be tired, but I didn't get what I wanted. So either or, you still gotta pick which voice you want to choose.
Choose your suffering. Like everyone's gonna suffer in life, but we have the choice of what we want to struggle with, what we suffer with.
Exactly.
Wow. No, that's very powerful, bro. Man, how old are you?
I'm 20. I just turned 26, May 25th.
And the things that you're saying, bro, like, no other 26-year-olds, I assure you right now, there's a bunch of 26-year-olds right now sitting there like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, because I'm 26 years old.
That means nothing.
And it means absolutely nothing, bro. 26 years old, you have multiple businesses, multiple. Your space is amazing, bro. Like, you're in Miami, you're successful in Miami. Like, it's possible. And that's really what we're trying to put out there. It's like, everything is possible. You gotta bet on yourself.
Yeah, you just gotta try.
You really
No
gotta
matter
bet on
what.
yourself.
Like, people will look at me and think everything is glamorous, but shit, I be struggling.
Yeah, no, and there's beauty in the struggle.
And there's definitely beauty in the struggle. It just shows you what you can do. And if you don't ever want to test yourself and see what you can do, what's the purpose you being here?
Nah, bro.
Like, what is your purpose?
That, like, nah. You dropping a lot of gems, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Like, this is definitely what the people need to hear. And like, I truly appreciate you giving me the time to speak with you, bro. Like, this is, again, 26 years old with a mentality like this is like, people, it's very inspiring, right? Like even me, like, I'm about to be 25, right? You're inspiring me right now just having this conversation. Like, so this is the material, this is the information that people need to hear to know that, hey, I can do this, right? So
I got one more thing to say. Like, now this is like the humble aspect of, like, no matter what, all throughout the years, like, I just always felt like there was people who depended on me, you know, because no matter what, I always had, like, even if it wasn't from family or friends or whatever, I always had some type of support system. Like, I was never truly alone. Like, people always say they gotta do it on their own somewhere. Nah, there's always someone helping you, you know?
right.
And I be thankful because, like, a lot of my friends would personally come to me and be like, yeah, you motivate me. And I'd be sometimes feeling like I'm not doing enough. But when I hear it from people that care about me, or people who I didn't think care about me, come to me and say, I've been watching you and all that, you know, it just makes me realize, like, damn, you know, like, I'm on the right path, and, you know, I'm glad that I'm helping others, you know, like, you just gotta have a humble journey the whole way through, you know, like, you just gotta remember where you came from, remember what you didn't have, and appreciate what you have today and what you can look forward to tomorrow.
Bro, spin facts, bro. I mean, shit, like, let the people know where they can follow you, let them know about you, like, where they can find the Yacht Business, like, just tell people, they need to see you, so let people know, man.
Well, if you ever want to follow me, or you ever want advice or anything, I'm very personable. I'll talk to people. I don't mind reaching out, or you reaching out. You can follow me at Christian_Chongg, CHONGG, on Instagram. If you ever need to rent a yacht, you can go to Meet Me at the Docks Miami on Instagram, as well as meetmeatthedocks.com. If you need a haircut, you can go on StyleSee or the Cut app, and you can look for me in Miami. It'll say the Chop Barbershop on there. And if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I'll reach out to you.
Perfect, man. I really appreciate the time, bro. You killed it, bro.
No problem, Jeff. I appreciate you, man.
For sure.